Hello, everyone. 6 months ago, my parents kicked me out of our home in Seattle. Why? Because I refused to give them $90,000 to save the family bakery. But here's the thing. What broke me wasn't the door slamming behind me. It was the truth I uncovered right after. That money wasn't for the bakery. It was to cover for my brother Ryan. He'd blown $90,000 at a casino. I'd done everything for my family, yet they chose him over me. What would you do when your parents turn their backs on you? To hide someone else's mistakes? Listen to my story to understand why I had to cut ties with my own family, and the surprising thing that happened next. Do you think I was wrong? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hello, I'm Chloe Harper. 29 years old, a freelance graphic designer in Seattle. I work remotely for an advertising agency, spending hours at my desk, cluttered with sketches in my cozy little apartment, where the balcony is always filled with the sweet scent of lavender. My life once revolved around the Harper family. My parents, Tom and Linda, ran Harper's Bakery, a beloved shop, famous for its creamy cakes for over 30 years. My older brother Ryan, 32, manages the bakery. He's always been my parents' golden child. I used to be the family's rock, designing logos and menus for free, never missing our Sunday gatherings. I can still smell the warm, toasty aroma of fresh bread, wafting from the oven. My dad, excitedly sharing plans to expand the shop. My mom, beaming over her coffee. Those moments made me believe family was the safest place, somewhere I could rely on forever. Little did I know, everything was about to crumble, like a cake dropped on the floor. Looking back, my childhood wasn't all warm bakery smells and Sunday laughter. Growing up, my brother Ryan was always the star of the show. When we were kids, my parents bought him a shiny new bike with bright red handlebars, while I got his rusty hand-me-down, wobbling on its worn-out tires. My mom would pull me aside and say, "Chloe, you're the younger one. You need to let your brother have his moment." I swallowed my hurt, learning to stay quiet, even as resentment simmered inside me. By the time I was 20, I gave up a design scholarship to help at Harper's Bakery during the holiday rush, decorating cakes until midnight. But no one ever said thank you. Ryan, meanwhile, had a habit of borrowing money from me, $5,000 over the years, with promises to pay back that never materialized. I'd tell myself, family sticks together, right? But 2 years ago, I started noticing cracks. I caught Ryan whispering on the phone about some debt to a stranger, his voice low and nervous. When I asked what was going on, he snapped, "Mind your own business, Chloe." My parents brushed off my questions about the bakery's finances, saying, "Everything's fine, don't worry." But deep down, I knew something was wrong, like a storm brewing just out of sight. I'll never forget that Saturday night, when everything started to unravel. My parents called me to Harper's Bakery after closing, the place eerily quiet, lit only by dim fluorescent lights, the sweet scent of cakes fading into the air. My dad's voice was heavy as he sat me down. "Chloe, the bakery's on the brink of bankruptcy. We need $90,000 to pay off the bank. You have to help us." My mom grabbed my hand, her eyes brimming with tears. "You're our only hope, sweetheart." My stomach twisted. I asked, "How much is the debt? Where's the paperwork?" But they dodged, exchanging nervous glances. Ryan cut in, his voice sharp. "Why do you need to know? Just trust your family." That's when those cryptic phone calls of his flashed in my mind, whispering about debts. I pushed back. "I need transparency." My dad exploded, "You don't trust your own parents?" For 3 sleepless nights, I wrestled with guilt and doubt, but I knew something wasn't right. I called them back, my voice shaking. I can't give the money without knowing where it's going. My mom sobbed. You're so selfish. Do you want our bakery to collapse? Ryan slammed his fist on the table. You'll regret this, Chloe. In that moment, my heart ached, but I stood my ground, not knowing the storm that was about to hit. 3 days after I refused to hand over the $90,000, my parents summoned me to their house. I walked into the living room, the familiar scent of their old cedar furniture hitting me like a wave of nostalgia, but their faces were stone cold. My dad pointed to the door. If you won't help, you're no longer our daughter. Get out and don't come back. My mom just stared, silent. I froze, feeling the ground collapse beneath me. With a single suitcase and a shattered heart, I walked away, whispering to myself, what did I do wrong? A week later, my best friend Mia sent me leaked bank documents that ripped the veil off everything. Ryan had borrowed $90,000 from some shady lender to feed his gambling addiction, losing it all in months. My parents knew, but they planned to use my money to cover his debts, shielding their golden boy. I broke down, sobbing to Mia. I'm not wrong, am I? They used me. She hugged me tight. Chloe, you're not wrong. They betrayed you. My tears fell harder as I choked out, why did they choose him over me? In that moment, my world turned upside down, and I knew nothing would ever be the same. The betrayal burned too deep to stay silent. I marched into Harper's Bakery, the once warm counter now cold and lifeless under the flickering lights, and faced my parents. My voice shook with fury. Why did you hide Ryan's gambling? I'm not your scapegoat. My mom's tears fell fast. Ryan's our son. He deserves another chance. My dad roared, You have no right to judge this family. My heart pounded, but I stood tall, my voice steady despite the pain. I can't let you keep lying to me, hurting me. I turned and left, the door's jingle echoing like a final goodbye. Back at my apartment, I blocked their numbers, Mom, Dad, Ryan, and moved to a new place, a small studio with a view of Seattle's skyline, vowing to live for myself. I sent one last email. When you respect me, we'll talk. Until then, I choose freedom. It hurt like hell to sever those ties, but in that moment I felt a fierce resolve. Like a weight had lifted. I was done being their pawn. The fallout didn't end with my parents. Soon, my extended family came knocking. My Aunt Susan called, her voice sharp. Chloe, you can't abandon your parents. I bit back, steady but raw. They abandoned me first, Aunt Susan. Then Uncle Mark showed up at my door, pleading, Family forgives Chloe. Ryan just made a mistake. I stared him down, my voice cold. A mistake isn't an excuse to betray me. When relatives begged to meet, I shut the door saying, Real family doesn't drag you into pain. I was done bending. Then, like a ray of light breaking through, things turned around. I landed a design contract with a major fashion brand, pulling in $100,000, enough to buy my dream apartment with a balcony glowing under Seattle's stars. My best friend Mia helped me throw my first design exhibition, drawing 200 guests, even earning a shout-out in the local paper. One client, Elena, a warm woman with kind eyes, pulled me aside. Chloe, you inspire me for living so true to yourself. My heart swelled with pride, the scars of betrayal fading as I realized I was building a life stronger than ever before. After the storm, I found my way back to joy. I poured my heart into my work, turning my apartment into a vibrant studio where sketches danced across the walls. Every month, I hosted art nights with friends, laughter filling the air as we painted and shared stories. Each evening, I'd stand on my balcony, gazing at Seattle's twinkling skyline, whispering to myself, I don't need anyone's approval to be happy. Ryan reached out once, his email heavy with regret, admitting his gambling addiction and his steps toward rehab. I didn't reply, but silently wished him well from afar. My parents tried calling, but I held firm. I forgive you, but I won't forget. I need time. Through it all, I learned what family truly means. It's not just blood. It's people like Mia who stood by me through every tear. I realized loving myself was the first step to loving others the right way. Those nights on the balcony, with the city glowing below, I felt whole, knowing I'd built a family stronger than the one I lost.